Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for being here in this safe space with People Get Ready. I'm Delores Williams, co-founder and co-owner of People Get Ready, mother to two free Black children, Layla and Mason. Shout out to them. And for the sake of this conversation, the happy wife of one real grown man. This is a safe space series book talk. For those of you who are unfamiliar with safe space, this is where a group of like-minded individuals gather at least once a month in conversation. We describe it as meeting at the metaphorical river where knowledge flows in order to love one another well against structures that stand to divide us and render us powerless. Safe space exists to provide room for healing conversations around books and other creative works. Here, women of color, mothers, and special guests meet at the intersection of our memories, histories, and traumas, because the work of being and raising mentally fortified free children depends upon it. So, let us proceed to uplift one another in conversation. It takes a village to build a nation. Tonight, we welcome Mr. Dondre T. Whitfield to our virtual stage. Yes. But someone near and dear to him is here and will introduce him. So I will introduce our community to him and to you. The first person I'd like to introduce is Kevin E. Walton Sr., who was born and raised in Staten Island, New York. He is a human resource specialist for the Area Cooperative Educational Services, or ACES, where he is also the chair of their diversity committee, responsible for recruitment and retention of a diverse educator workforce. He trains staff in the areas of sexual harassment, protection and advocacy, and child abuse and neglect. He recently completed his ninth season as the head coach of Wilbur Cross High School boys basketball team, and Wilbur Cross is my alma mater in New Haven, Connecticut. He is a staunch advocate for young people, prompting him to start the Leadership Institute, where the primary focus is athletic and leadership skill development for boys and girls ages 10 to 18 years old. Mr. Walton is also the co-founder of Storytellers New Haven and Wise Dog Strategic Solutions, LLC. Kevin resides in New Haven, Connecticut with his wife, Dr. Karen DuBois Walton, their two sons, Kevin Jr., Caleb, and their four-legged son, Coleman. While Mr. Walton believes that his life's purpose is to be a community builder, he realizes that his most important role is that of a son to his mother, Janice Walton, who still resides in Staten Island, as a husband to his beautiful wife, Dr. Karen DuBois Walton, and as a father to Kevin Jr., Caleb, and of course, four-legged son Coleman. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Ty Richardson. Ty was born and raised in the New Hallville neighborhood of New Haven and was educated through the New Haven public school system. Ty is a member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated and currently serves as the Vice President of the New Haven Alumni Chapter and the Director of Collegiate Affairs for New England States. Professionally, Ty is employed by the State of Connecticut Judicial Branch as a juvenile probation supervisor in the Bridgeport Superior Court for Juvenile Matters. Additionally, he's a certified trainer and facilitator for advancing youth development through the Academy of Educational Development, as well as a facilitator for the Family Violence Education Program. Ty is the father of son Dorenzo and two daughters, beautiful daughters, Tyler Mackenzie and Zora Grace Richardson. He is happily married to Mrs. Melissa Richardson. He is the owner of Richardson Training and Consulting LLC, a company that focuses on leadership development, workshop facilitation, and motivational speaking. Ty is a member of the Board of Directors for Leadership Education and Athletics Partnership, or LEAP. He also serves as a member of the Strengthening Partnerships Between Community and Police Committee for the town of Hamden. I also would be remiss not to mention that Kevin Walton is a member of Omega Psi Phi fraternity in New Haven. Now, for our featured author and distinguished guest, Mr. Dondre Whitfield, we have a surprise guest who is near and dear to him. Please welcome them to introduce him as only they can.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. Wow, it is my honor to introduce my brother, my friend, Dondre Whitfield. He is not only a brilliant actor who started his career on The Cosby Show, later moving on to All My Children, Queen Sugar, and Black Love, and may I not forget, Husbands of Hollywood. Dondre Whitfield, you know how I feel about you. I love, love, love you. I love your wife, Sally Richardson, and your two beautiful children. It would be remiss of me not to mention your three dogs and the brand new dog that you just got yesterday. Dondre, I'm so proud of you. I've read your book, Male versus Men. I tell every man I know they must get this book. It is not only a Bible to what I feel every man should read, but I also think every woman should read it as well. It is my honor to introduce my friend, Dondre T. Whitfield.
Is Dondre here yet? Don,
Yes,
talk a little bit about your background in New Haven.
sure.
You're
I
born
was
here,
born,
weren't you?
absolutely. I was born at Yale. My father was one of the marketing geniuses and vice president of Silly Putty. So we grew up in Branford, and there were all these Silly Putty plants. A lot of people in the world have no idea what has come out of Connecticut. But my family are the Horners, the Rawls, the Haynes. So they all were born and raised in New Haven, Connecticut. My mom and father met, early in the 50s. I moved to Massachusetts with my mom, and I grew up in New Bedford. But every summer, every holiday, I would go to Connecticut to visit my family. And I have some wonderful memories of New Haven and Branford as well. So I look forward to coming back. I was there a couple of years ago, and I went to Yale, and I'm just so proud of how many amazing African American doctors are there, and what we've done as a community in New Haven. One of my cousins runs the radio station there. So yeah, we'll talk more about that. I'm about to call Dondre if you want me to.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
We can talk a little bit too about what actually brought us here while you do that.
Okay.
Um, so I think one night my husband and I were watching an episode of Black Love that Dondre was in, and I was just so captivated by it because the voice sounded so familiar and the energy sounded so familiar because of the type of father that I grew up with in New Haven. My dad was also an Omega, and he had certain values that raised me up and made me who I am today. And when I heard Dondre talking, I felt like I was hearing some of my father coming through. And the fact that he had recently passed away made me very sensitive to that. Um, and so after seeing that, it just kind of stuck in my head, and I locked it away and sort of kept it in my spirit. And then one day I was watching a community conversation, and shout out to Babs Rawls Ivy, who started that conversation here in New Haven, where Kevin was involved. That conversation came on the heels of um, the Derek Chauvin trial, the death of DMX. There were a lot of things going on in the Black community, particularly surrounding Black males, that was very, very traumatizing. And so I said to myself, I saw that conversation on Black Love, on that interview, and I'm reading this book that is really interesting. And I wonder if we could have a community conversation with Dondre to talk about this. Do you want to talk, Kevin, a little bit about your feelings around that time, around when DMX died and when the conviction was rendered?
Yeah, definitely. And thanks for having us, and thanks for hosting this. And it's great. I'm just delighted to be on this show with Dondre and with yourself, and of course with Ty. So I think that was also around, if I'm correctly, it's also around the time the young man Dante Wright in Minneapolis was killed. But equally important, it had been the spike in violence in our cities and in Hartford. In that particular weekend, that's the weekend that not only did the 16-year-old kid in Hartford get murdered, but they murdered that little baby in the car. And I was just feeling just vulnerable and at a different place. And my real comment was that, as a father of two boys, and as a coach, and as a community member and community builder, and my specific comment was that I worry about my two grown sons every minute of the day, and I don't sleep until they're in the house and that back light is off.
Yeah.
And, and that's really what prompted the conversation. And it's a feeling that just sticks with me. We get up and we do our daily routines, but, my heart goes out and for every young male and female in particular in this city, but across our country, because we are under attack from different angles. And so bringing this conversation and beginning to read this book, it resonates so well with so many things I'm feeling personally, but also things that I observe. So I think the impetus was just kind of all of the stolen greatness that's happening in front of us, like on a daily basis.
Yeah. Thank you for that.
I have good news. Dondre's on his way.
Oh, great.
Well, 3 minutes, he should be in the room.
Yeah, I was so grateful for your authenticity, Kevin, because I saw your Facebook post as well. And I was just so grateful that Babs decided to take what she saw there and to talk to you about it, and to invite friends of yours to that conversation, and to just hold space for you to have a community-centered conversation about how you were feeling. That was so powerful to me. And she was able to do that, and also mentioning that she hadn't experienced having a great dad herself. And I just was like, wow, to be able to elevate these voices in our community, just based on genuine love and friendship, was just so powerful to me. And I wanted to hear you talk about it again with an author, especially because I know one day you'll be an author as well.
Yeah, if I can ever sit down and for a minute, right? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's in the head. I got like 10 bestsellers right up here.
Well,
You
with
know,
all of the work that you do in the community, that doesn't surprise me at all. I mean, you're constantly, reviewing, observing, and analyzing things that will eventually be in a book. It's just about having the time to sit down and do it.
yeah, and I think Ty can, and thank you for holding,
Yeah.
acknowledging that. I think Ty can attest to it. I think, with Ty being a Sigma, myself being Omega, I think that was instilled in us when we went through our process, and it's with the commitment that we've made as members of these Black organizations. But I think that process started way long ago with some of the tremendous mentors that I had in my life, and fortunately, I didn't necessarily have my father, but I had my uncle and my best friend's dad and one of my teachers who kind of instilled that whole servant leadership, just having to give back to whom much is given, much is required, and being fortunate to be in a position to be able to do this work and to be able to do it with so many powerful Black men and Black women and allies in this community is just amazing, And on that show we had Sean Reeve, who went through an unspeakable tragedy years ago, losing his son at the hands of senseless violence. And and the connection there is that my sons, that was my son's first bout with losing a friend in such a manner, and how the impact on them has been so profound to the point that they talk about it in their music and how it's impacted. But what it is we gave them a space to grieve, and what I didn't have growing up is a space and an opportunity to grieve, to talk about trauma, because of the messages that we received growing up in the community, that if you grieve, if you show emotion, you're soft, and things of that nature. And so that I was grateful for the release, and I'm grateful that we're living at a time now that it's okay for Black men to have these conversations.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine what it would feel like to not be able to feel safe to have these conversations. And, you're well networked in the community, both you and Ty, and in my imagination, you are having these conversations regularly just because of your fraternity life. For me, I don't. I have my husband, who is my best friend. Um, but, like I've been through lots of family trauma that has arrested some of my relationships with the males in my life. My father just died, and my brothers and I aren't necessarily in contact regularly. And that's difficult. So for me, when I saw Dondre talking, it was like I was craving that energy. And when I saw you talking, it's like I'm craving that energy, the representation, the protection, the feeling of feeling like that there's leadership that cares, and wants to cover the people around them. Um, it's just so vital to the lives, and it just shapes the trajectories of everyone around you. And so to me, that this was just the perfect book to discuss. um, Ty,
Yes,
you had a big day today.
I did.
Commencement speaker, someone who grew up in New Haven public schools. Yes,
Congratulations.
absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
How did it feel like to have a full circle moment like that?
I mean,
And I know it's not your first, but
right. It it always feels amazing to be called on at home, to
mm,
come back and to give back at home. Being born and raised here in New Haven, I think that it's one of those things where it just reminds me, like looking out into that crowd. It reminds me of 21 years ago, right,
mm,
where I'm sitting as a graduate of Hill House trying to figure out what is next. And this book was so on time because it
mm,
reminded me that when I sat in that seat as a boy, right? And
right.
I've been able to grow into a grown man. And it was because of men, like grown men, real men like Kevin Walton and Don McCauley. You know, I was blessed to go to the church that I go to because I had examples in front of me. And so it wasn't necessarily that I needed dad in the house because he was like in and out of the house and everywhere else, right? I could look to these men to kind of be a guide and a model. And, you know, when you look out into that crowd, I saw young men and young women looking at a man and presenting in the manner in which that they should present themselves and being that mirror for them, because I think that, you know, we're bombarded with all of these negative images. And he says in the book this idea that negative messages become like an infomercial for a life of pain, right?
Yeah.
And the more you consume those negative messages, the more that it becomes a part of your existence, a part of your DNA. And, you know, conversations like this break that down. And Kevin pointed to something that I think is phenomenal. And I want to shout him out because I've seen him do this with his athletes. He's more than a basketball coach. And I'm not just saying this because he's on. He's more than a basketball coach. He's encouraged them to become servant leaders. And so instead of just talking about it, I remember seeing, you know, the different community service activities that he would have the players going through on a Saturday, right? Where they could be doing something else, he certainly could be doing something else on a Saturday, having them out. Or whether it's the Martin Luther King Day program where we all come together, you always knew that you're going to see the Wilbur Cross players there because that's what Kevin has instilled. That's modeling manhood to them. And I think that not only do men crave these conversations, but more importantly, boys crave these conversations.
Dondre's here to talk to us all about
So he's
that.
in the building. He's in the building.
Yeah.
Come on
My
through.
intro again.
Yeah, go ahead for your brother from another mother. Hi there.
Hello, my people.
Hello.
All right, so now
Surprise!
this, yeah, surprise. So watch this. Dawn knows this better than anyone. I have been without my wife really for 2 years. She has been in Budapest first year. You're seeing my son in the background right there.
Little Dre.
He's like, I'm out of here. Budapest, and she was working in New York. So I have been a single parent for 2 years running for a full school year. Now, I got 2 kids, a 12-year-old son, a 16-year-old daughter. I got a 1-year-old Rottweiler puppy. We just got a French bulldog that Dawn, you haven't seen this yet.
Yeah, I've seen it.
In person, I mean.
Oh yeah.
And so literally when I tell you the schedule is chock full.
Yeah.
So you can very well imagine that someone like myself, a black man that literally does everything. When we hear this narrative about what men do, what they don't do, how we get misidentified as our basic cable counterparts, the males, it's infuriating because brothers like us exist. I am not a unicorn. I'm not the only one who does this. The media doesn't cover it. Television shows don't depict it. Even the television shows that are written by our people don't represent us.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I wrote this book, for 2 reasons. Number one, for our brothers to have, my father was in and out of jail my entire life, most of my adolescence, those most formative years. When you don't have a coach in life, one of the things that I talk about in often is that everything that we're great at in life, we receive coaching at. every great let's just take basketball, for example. Every great basketball player you know, name any of them, the common thread, the common denominator, that they all had natural talent, God-given ability. They all had physicality that allowed them to be great. But in order to tap into that 5% that everybody else doesn't really have, they all had to have coaching. From LeBron to Kobe to Kareem to Magic, keep on going down the line, they all had coaching. So if we know that you need great coaching in order to become a great basketball player, why is it that we think that we don't need great coaching in order to become a great man? It's beyond me.
I totally agree with you that we do.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
Absolutely.
Indeed. And of course, likewise, our sisters do too, right? Look, we got a lot of females running around too. It's not just the males. We got a lot of females running around these parts too. Many of our sisters are missing the kind of coaching that allows them to matriculate into their womanhood, right? I got a 16-year-old daughter. Let me put it to you this way, because this usually sets the room on fire, particularly when I'm talking to sisters in a huge room. I asked them this question. I said, okay, I have a 16-year-old daughter. Can I teach? First, I start with this. Raise your hand if you're raising a son. Many of the sisters go. I said, okay, can you teach your son how to be a man? And they go, well, yeah, of course. Well, of course. And they high five, and they be like, his daddy ain't teaching him how to be a man. Somebody got to teach this boy how to be a man. You already know. We do everything, girl. We got to teach this boy how to be a man. That's what we do. That's what we do. High five in the back, all of that. And I sit there and I wait and I go, yeah. Awesome. Yes, indeed. I had a mother who tried to do the same thing. Absolutely. Yes. She taught me so much. I celebrate all of y'all. In fact, everybody stand up. Give yourself a standard. Yes, a standing ovation. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And we celebrate them to the nines. They celebrate themselves. More back high fives, side fives, all of that. And I said, okay, here's my question to you. And I wait. And the room gets silent. And I said, I have a 16-year-old daughter. Can I teach her how to be a woman? And they go, nah, you know he crazy. No, you know he crazy. Ain't they crazy, girl? They crazy. How he gonna teach her how to be a woman? You ain't no woman. You can't teach her how to be.
You got us. You got us. You're right. Absolutely.
And it finally dawns on them. And I just sit there and I go, as a big brother, not like, see what I did right? No. Now this is the empathetic spiritual man that's there to take care of my sister. To say, I understand. I get it. Out of necessity, you had to do what was not being done. So you had to try to step into a space that was not being served. You didn't see your son being given the information and instruction that was necessary in order for him to matriculate into his manhood. So somebody had to do something. That's why I applaud you, because you're doing what no one is doing.
I think
Now,
Dondre,
give them the information to get there. Yes.
Yeah. I think one of my I'm a happily married woman of a grown man for the sake of this conversation.
Got it.
And one of the things that I struggle with, because my son does have my husband.
Yes, I'm listening. I'm plugging in.
One of the things that we have discussed extensively in therapy is not interfering in his disciplinary process.
Oh my gosh. Wait, stop right there. Hold on.
It's been rough.
Let me tell you something. I love you like I can't even express right now.
Dondre, I gotta tell you how you got here. I mean, listen, I think you're my brother from another mother too, just like
I
Dawn
am.
said earlier.
I am.
You know when you're finding your soul family. I saw you on Black Love.
Okay.
In an interview, I was sitting next to my husband.
Yep.
I'm watching you sitting next to Sally, the
Yes.
beautiful Sally Richardson,
Whitfield.
and she's letting you go off, talk
Yes.
all about
Yes.
what the difference between a grown male and a man. And the
Yes.
energy was so familiar to me. You reminded me of my dad.
Mm.
I had a really great father. And I felt like I was hearing him talking because his opinion of his role as a man was to protect my mother and allow her to do whatever she wants to do in life. Your mother's the brains and I'm the muscle. I'm here to make sure I clear the path so that she can live how she wants to.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I was missing my father so much that I feel like I manifested this
Mm.
conversation because I
Mm.
saw this
Mm.
book and I was like, okay, I know some really great brothers in my community that could have a great conversation with Dondre about this, and would he come here to talk to us? So we are so grateful for you agreeing to come. I will never ever forget this, and I feel like, you find your soul family in life when you start doing what you love. So I got to start somewhere though. I got to start. I got to bring you way back and start where you hit me. First was the dedication page, Dondre. The dedications page of any book is my favorite page. And your dedication page is the longest dedication page I've ever seen. The feeling is palpable when I read it. I understand exactly where you're coming from and the love that you have for your family, especially your wife. It's palpable and evident. And I thank you for that because I feel like you are fulfilling the goal that you said you have of supporting sisters out there in the community. Um, I gotta go straight in to the trauma though. My first inquiry for you is about your beloved friend, Amon Parker. So now listen, the first thing I did was I read it. I read it and it like I went back into the moment that that trauma hit you. Whenever you experience something like this, like I've experienced this moment, you never forget where you were, and you don't forget what other people tell you where they were when they found out that this tragedy happened. And so then I listened to you. I went and I bought the book on audiobook and I listened to you tell the story. And I could tell that in your um in your talking that you were struggling, like struggling to tell exactly what happened. Can you just talk about it a little bit, maybe?
So during all this time, I'm sure that you've been able to see that there is still a lot of palpable emotion surrounding the experience of this book and the sharing of this information.
Mm-hmm.
I don't allow myself any longer to not give myself permission to feel whatever it is that I feel.
Mm-hmm.
More than any species on the planet, the black man has been robbed of being able to show his emotions
Yeah, to have a full range of emotions.
and not be demonized and vilified for it. I refuse to let anyone, society, another brother of mine who may be unconscious, even my wife at times, because she is not a very emotional person.
Mm-hmm.
That's not speaking against her. She said that about herself. If you look at any of our interviews, she says it about herself.
Somebody has to be able to anchor you.
It is, I anchor me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need her to anchor me.
Okay.
What I need her to do is I need her to be able to anchor herself
Mm-hmm.
so that we can be in true partnership. Because I show my range of emotion doesn't mean that I'm out of control.
Mm-hmm.
It actually means I'm in control because I'm allowing myself. If God didn't want me to feel these emotions, he never would have given them to me in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
My job is not to control my emotions. My job is to control my response
Mm-hmm.
that may come from feeling those emotions. Let me give you an example. We get into an argument, me and my brother. I see Brother Ty up. Brother Ty and I get into an argument. He says something to me. It attacks my spirit. Because of the emotions that I feel, I could physically attack my brother and threaten his life. It's not that I needed to control my emotions.
Mm-hmm.
I needed to control my response to the emotions that may have activated my physical acts.
Oh, can I jump in?
Yes, sir. Of course, jump in.
I really appreciate you sharing that. Because I'm a juvenile probation supervisor, and the amount of young black men, boys actually, that are presented as older in the system, right, than their counterparts, and the way their behaviors are labeled, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can take a kindergartner who is upset and is expressing himself based upon being upset, but he's demonized and presented as scary, threatening, all those types of things. And so what I try to work through with those young men is what you're talking about. It is okay to feel what you're feeling.
Totally.
Let's work through how you react to what you're feeling. And for so long, we've been crippled of our ability to do that. And, I just want to thank you for this book. I wish, 16 years ago when my son was born and I was 23, I wish I had this book, because I struggle, brother. And reading this, I'm like, dang, I needed this, but I need it now too. But if I had it then, you know what I mean? If I had it then, I could only imagine, what I would have been able to do, because there were some sleepless nights and a lot of trying to navigate this. But I don't want to get off the topic that you were on, because I think it's just so powerful, what you're talking about, the fact that our ability to have emotions and experience those emotions, because when you don't, it kills you on the inside. So I just wanted to, I had to jump on that.
I love that you did. So two things. Number one, not only is it okay for us to feel what we feel, it's necessary. The reason why it's necessary is because we're dying. We're literally dying because we don't allow ourselves to feel, to emote. Our sisters are literally outliving us by an average of 15 years. My daughter is 16 years old. That means that my wife is going to go without a husband for the lifespan of our daughter when I die? No. I've already told my wife, listen, you better start emoting because I'm going to outlive you. I'm going to outlive you. Why? Because I emote. Whenever I feel something, I express something. You know when they say when you see something, what they say something. Okay,
Yeah.
when you feel something, express something.
Absolutely.
When you feel something, express something. In the book, I specifically talk about 2 different forms of language.
Yes. Talk to us about Miss Jackson, please.
Oh my God. So when I talk about the languages, I talk about the protein and the kerosene.
Mm-hmm.
If I feel something, I can express it to you, but now I have a choice whether to use protein language or kerosene language. Kerosene language is going to burn you down. And what I have been taught, the streets of Brooklyn taught me, burn them all down, bro. Burn them down. Number one, it's going to feel good when you set them on fire. Why? Because you have been experiencing a lack of control in your life. This is maybe the one time in your life where you will feel control. So watching somebody literally burn up and you were actually in control of that. It's one of the things that our white brothers and sisters who are unconscious do that makes them feel good is because they have that kind of control.
Wow.
And because we don't have that kind of control, because we seldom experience that kind of control, when we feel that kind of control with each other, it creates that crab in a barrel mentality.
Yeah.
Right? So I often say, listen, I'm not going to do any of that. And I'm also raising my kid, not the word, but my acronym, which is King in Development. My son is 12 years old. And I'm telling you right now, my son, his manhood is on par. I would put my son, my 12-year-old son, right now up against some grown 30, 40, 50-year-olds.
Wow.
Right now. Sunday, I met with a book club. And we were talking about this whole notion of male versus man and what manhood is. And that manhood is strictly defined by your conscious dedication to being of service. And I said, I am my son's drill instructor for manhood. And like, well, what do you mean? I said, okay, no problem. I said, Dre. He said, yeah. I said, what are you doing? He said, nothing. I said, come up here, son. My son came in the room. He came and he sat down right here on my knee. I didn't look him in the eye. I said, look at the camera. Look at the people. I said, I'm going to ask you a question. I want you to answer this to your best ability. Why did God put you on this earth? My son looked straight at the camera and said, to serve. Room set on fire. Every woman in the room is like, slightly turned on. And I know that sounds crazy because we're talking about a 12-year-old, but I know the temperature because what my sisters were experiencing was the idea that there are men on this planet that are of age that share that mentality. And they want to be partnered with that. That's what turned them on. The fact that, again, I'm not a unicorn.
Yeah.
But we have to be intentional about raising these kind of men, right? In Brooklyn, I was taught that manhood was two things: sexuality and masculinity. Masculinity. How much can you bench press? I can bench press 250 pounds. Boy, that boy is masculine. Sexuality. How many women did you sleep with? That's my sexuality. That has nothing to do with my manhood. I know some brothers right now who people would consider to be effeminate, who are great men. Why? Because manhood is measured on your dedication to being of service to the women and children in your life. And notice I said women, meaning plural. I have one woman in my life. I have a young woman in my life. But my service is not simply relegated to them. My sister Dawn is my assignment. You are my assignment. That's why God put me here. In the book, I talk about how every man is supposed to be a walking what? Tree.
Yep.
What do trees do?
Cover.
Trees provide a covering. The trees are the first shelter. Before there were homes, before there were built structures, trees were the first shelter. Trees protect us from the harmful elements of the world. You trying to tell me that that's not a man? That is exactly what a man does. A man protects you, supposed to protect you from the harmful elements of the world. My job is to protect my wife and my children from the harmful elements of the world. What else do trees do? Trees provide food in the form of fruit.
Yes.
Not just physical fruit that you eat, but mental, emotional, spiritual food that you eat that builds you up, right? What else do trees provide? Trees provide you with oxygen when you feed it poison in the form of carbon dioxide. Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
Yeah.
When you feed me poison, I don't give it back to you because that's not my assignment. See, when God sent me here to give you what you don't have. My job is to go out and get it first so that I have to give. So when you give me poison, my job as a man, as God's son on assignment, like Christ himself, when you feed me poison, I give you back oxygen that allows you to breathe better. So I give you what's necessary for you to breathe better. I give you what's necessary for you to eat in order for you to build yourself mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And let's be very specific here. Mental, emotional, spiritual health. And I'm going to give y'all a preview of what I'm working on in my new book, The Hero and the Herd. I talk about my acronym, Cleaning Up Your Mess, which is an acronym for mental, emotional, spiritual state. When you are healthy mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, it will manifest itself physically. So you don't have to try to smile. You wake up with a smile.
Right.
You feel me? When somebody dies, when the mortuary gets you, those folks have to literally put smiles onto people's faces because they died with a frown. They're not gonna have to do nothing to me. They're not gonna have to do nothing to me. Because when I die, I'm gonna die like this. Because every single day I walk out purpose. My job as a man, my purpose is to be a servant to the women and children in my life and to be a loving but firm accountability partner to my brothers, to Brother Kevin, to Brother Ty. If I look, Brother Kevin has on a tie. literally, but figuratively, if I see his tie is crooked, come on, man. If I see my brother's tie is crooked, figuratively, I'm a brother Kev. We need a word. What time can you talk? Why? Because we are supposed to hold each other to a standard.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why our community, black folks in general, the reason why we are hemorrhaging is because we are no longer allowed to hold each other to a standard. We are no longer allowed to hold anybody to a standard, meaning tomfoolery is going on every single day and you ain't allowed to say nothing.
Yeah. Well, I say it when I feel it.
I can't do that. Oh, I can't be like that. Oh, I see what you're doing. You over here, you just no, sister, no, beloved, no, brother. I'm helping us hold each other to a standard. I want you to hold me to a standard too. Mm-hmm. If you see my tie is crooked, come tap me on the shoulder because that's my blind spot in life. I may not even know I'm doing it. Look, I drive a Tesla. It's my favorite thing, my favorite inanimate object on the planet. Mm-hmm. I drive that joker to the corner store. It's an experience. There are cameras in my car. As a driver, I can't see everything.
Right.
But that car can, because it has cameras. It eliminates all my blind spots. Why is that valuable? Because that makes me a better driver.
Right.
As an accountability partner that holds my brothers to a standard, or that my brothers hold me to a standard, they are my cameras that allow me to have my blind spots eliminated so that I am a better man. Mm-hmm. Like I'm a better driver when my Tesla's cameras show me what's going on around me that I can't see.
Can you talk about Happy Wife, Happy Life, please?
Oh my God.
I want to know, can you talk about real togetherness and bringing happiness to the marriage? You touched upon that already, but can you elaborate?
It's, first of all, the reason why I named that chapter Happy Wife, Happy Life was because I wanted every person on the planet who subscribes to that nonsense, and I say that with all due respect and love, to go, yeah, I gotta read this. Well, that's not what this means at all. Mm-hmm. Because it's garbage. It is poison. Watch this. Sister Delores, did I hear you say you're married?
Yes, I am.
How many years you been with your husband?
15 years this June.
15. Is that marital years?
Yeah.
How about partnered years total?
Like
those count too.
19.
19. Okay. So me and my wife, we've been partnered for 23 years. We've been married for 18 of those 23 years. Watch and see how Happy Wife, Happy Life is poison to both you and him. Mm-hmm. You show up unhappy. That makes him a bad husband, don't it?
Yeah, and I've been there. Definitely.
That makes him a bad husband because society says it's his job to make you
happy.
Utter nonsense.
Yep.
Utter. Ask your husband how it has worked out for him making you happy. Ask him.
Yeah. I know the answer to that. It never did.
Utter nonsense.
Yeah, that's my job.
So now the woman is absolved of finding her happiness, which is really her assignment.
Yeah.
So she's absolved of the responsibility of finding her happiness. And now that responsibility lands squarely on the broad shoulders that will make them narrow, because he is forever unable.
Exhausted.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Yeah.
Dawn knows, because she knows other folks, and then she knows us too. It is freaking exhausting.
Yeah.
Let me okay, without saying this as respectfully as I can. It's like trying to find just when you think as a man, just when you think you know the G spot on your wife or your woman, and then you try to go back to that same place, guess what?
It's not there. It's a moving target.
It was just here last night.
Yeah.
Never going to happen. I had to literally tell my wife, and this is both literal and figurative, stop setting me up for failure. You know where it is, don't you? Tell me. Tell me. Don't you want it? Don't you want me to find it? Don't you want me to help you? Help me help you.
Well, we have to know where it is first.
My point. So watch this. In the G spot of life,
Yeah.
your job is to find your happiness, your own life's G spot. He cannot find it for you.
Nope.
And for you to subscribe to the notion, happy wife, happy life, is setting him up for utter failure, because he's never going to be able to find it. Never. So what I wanted everyone to know is, listen, it is not even, as a man, it's not even my assignment to make my wife happy. Here's my assignment, because I can hear everybody asking, okay, well, then what is your assignment, man? My assignment is to accentuate whatever it is my wife already has. Further, my assignment is to make sure I don't make you unhappy.
Yeah.
I can do that. I can't make you unhappy, but I can certainly do something to make you unhappy.
Right.
Example, I come to the party happy. You'll do something like shoot me in the leg. That will make me unhappy.
Yeah.
When I came here, I was whole.
Right.
No bullets. You shot me, that will make me very unhappy. So at my best, I can accentuate your happiness, and I can make sure I don't make you unhappy. But making you happy, never going to happen.
Never.
Never. And that goes both ways, of course.
Right.
No wife can make her husband happy. That is his assignment. No sex is going to make him happy. It gives us a shot of dopamine. Feels good. Might even distract us a minute from our unhappiness, but never going to make us happy. Watch this. Every brother you know who has, all of us know a brother who loves J's. I'm gonna go buy me some J's. Oh, the new J's came out. I gotta go get me some J's. All of us know that one brother that got a J's collection. This dude is up here. Yeah. Oh, those those were the 2000. Those are 2000. Oh, those 95 J. Oh, those are the J 20, the 23s. Oh, the 21s, the 19s, the 18s, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13. J's collection made him feel good, shot of dopamine, but really it was just a distraction for his unhappiness. And the J's are designed to fill that gigantic hole called unhappiness. And the unhappiness comes from not knowing what your purpose is. If you don't know why you're here on this planet, if you don't know why God sent you, you're gonna die an unhappy human being. I don't know what your purpose is, but I can tell you what your purpose is not.
Yeah.
God did not send you here to go to sleep, wake up, go to the job, get a paycheck, pay the bills, go to sleep, wake up, go to work, get a check, pay the bills, do it all over again, and then get to the weekend, get drunk or get high all weekend, and then get to Monday, do it all over again. That's what your purpose is not.
Dondre, what was your supreme moment of destiny where you understood your purpose? Because you've been in business for a very long time. You've been successful for a long time. What was the moment where you knew you were happy and living in flow?
Great question. So number one, I have often said that acting is my passion, but activation is my purpose. If I never do another acting job again, gonna be okay. Gonna be okay. It's a passion. I will miss it. Gonna be okay. It's not my assignment. When God created me, the intention behind my creation was not to be an actor. Listen, God dang it. Listen.
Preach.
God did not create me to be an actor. That's not what he chose for. I chose that for myself. Truth be told, y'all want me to give y'all 100? Watch this. I didn't even choose acting for myself.
How did it choose you?
A bunch of other people chose it for me. See, don't nobody want to hear that truth. Boy, you so cute and you talented. If I were you, you know what I would do? What? I would be an actor.
I know that Miss Jackson encouraged you in that direction, but did she say that to you?
No, she did not.
Okay.
What she did was she saw that I had some specific talents
Right.
that would absolutely serve the nature of being in this space. She was in charge of doing the school plays and all of that stuff, right? Next day, one day she comes in with a list of actors' salaries. And I was like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
people get paid to do this? And she was like, yeah. I was like, oh, snap. So then, of course, again, other people saying, yo, you should do that. I really didn't choose it for myself. It was a ticket out of poverty, out of misery, out of all of those things. It was a ticket out. So I chose that as a means because everybody said, this is a direction that I think you should look into. Right? Now, it just so happens, to be honest, if I were in an environment like my children live in, where I was living in an oven and not a microwave, See, great recipes are done in an oven.
Mm-hmm.
No great recipe is ever done in the microwave. I was living in a microwave. I had to do something quick based on where I was. If I lived in an environment that was more like an oven, I probably would have become a lawyer.
Wow.
Because all the skills that I have as an actor are all the skills that an attorney has. Right? What are you doing? You're performing for an audience. Who's your audience? The jury?
Yeah.
The judge? Right?
A lot of reading.
A lot of reading, right? A lot of being able to convince people of the truth that you're trying to convey. That's exactly what actors do. Actors don't lie. Actors tell the truth about their character, even when they're portraying a liar. Did you get that? When an actor isn't good, and you all know, look, you've been watching television shows and you sit there and you see an actor and you be like, man, this actor's terrible. Why? You don't even know nothing about acting. But here's what you know. You don't feel truth.
Yeah, they're not connecting authentically to the...
You like, none of this feels real. This don't feel like truth. They are terrible.
Yeah.
But if you look at any of our great actors from Denzel Washington to James Earl Jones to Cicely Tyson, on and on. We have such a rich history of great acting. Every time you look at them, you go, boy, that is phenomenal. Man, good, because you believe. The reason why it's phenomenal is because you believe it. You know that what you're watching is actually not real, but you believe it. You believe them. That's why you're like, this is phenomenal.
Yeah. Authenticity.
Authenticity. As an attorney, when I will never forget watching Johnny Cochran during all those trials, during that entire trial. Every day, I was glued to it. And I was sitting there, I'll never forget it. I was like, that's me. Now, not necessarily getting off, but serving our people who have been framed, who the system have wrongfully convicted.
Wow.
I would have been phenomenal at it. Phenomenal at it. Because I'm a steel trap. When you say something to me, so whenever you get into a debate with me, be careful. Because I don't forget nothing.
I've been watching my step here.
I don't forget nothing, and I don't let nothing slide. Wait a minute. That's not what you said 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, you said X, Y, and Z. Well, now I said to you A, B, and C, and you said summarily, you said, no way. Now what you just said actually contradicts what you said 5 minutes ago. So where are we now? I just want to be clear. Would have been phenomenal at it.
Yeah.
Right? Serving purpose. So now the way I serve purpose now is next month I'm going to be shooting my pilot for my talk show. Trying to get people to come to their best self. Like,
we need you.
You know what? And I used to, my broken self said, who's going to listen to you?
I will. You have the premier voice of our generation.
That was my broken self.
Yeah.
When, my sisters, even like sisters like Dawn, who, the first time I told her about this work, she was like, yo, man, I never even heard nothing like this. And you need yo, you need a talk show.
Yeah.
This is before I even told her about me wanting to do a talk show. So God keeps sending me these messengers,
That's beautiful.
making sure that I understand this is exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So while I may have missed a vehicle in being an attorney in this way, I'm going to be serving the masses by giving my folks information, instruction, tools that they will be able to use to elevate themselves. Because without good coaching, we can sometimes miss the boat in being great people.
Absolutely.
So that's where I am in my life. And that's the function that I wanted this to serve, this book to serve, and why I'm writing a relationship book. Because honestly speaking, it's full of information that my wife and I actually do now, full of stuff that we didn't do that we should have done.
Yeah.
And I actually talk about stuff that I'm awesome at telling on myself. You will never hear about the time that Dondre showed up terribly from somebody else. You know who you're going to hear it from? Dondre. Why? Because that's no strike against me. It actually says more about me that I did that, told you about it, no longer do it. That says more about me than about who I was in my past.
Yeah.
When I was Brooklyn Dre, right? So in the book, I talk about the two me's, Brooklyn Dre, Disciple Dondre, right? Listen, let me tell you something. Brooklyn Dre, right here, right behind me. If something goes down and it strikes my flesh in a way that is that's not good, Brooklyn Dre is like, yo, you want me to take care of that? Because I'll slap this N-word right now. You want me to take care? And Disciple Dondre is like, I got it. I need first, listen, I need you to calm down. Excuse me one second. You gotta calm down, bro. Because if I let you take the wheel, we gotta get bailed out. You feel me? Just go sit down. Relax. Calm down. Breathe. He don't even know you like that. Why are you taking this so personally? He don't even know you. Calm down, bro. What's up,
Dondre?
Look, man. Literally, that's what happens.
Yeah. What are your final takeaways for brothers and young people? What are your final takeaways for us, and how can we support you in your work?
Well, this is the support right now. Just being able to be here and engage in this dialogue, give me an opportunity to give you a reason to keep investing in what it is that I do.
Oh yeah.
Every day when I wake up, I have you in mind. My sisters and my brothers. You're the first thing I think about when I wake up. You're the last thing that I think about before I go to sleep. And when I say go to sleep, it's more like pass out from utter exhaustion between figuring out what move I make next as a purpose worker, whether I'm writing my book, formulating my talk show, or parenting my children. But every single day, this is the nature of what I do. Like there's certain jobs as an actor that I refuse to take because it dishonors. Look, I don't want to talk about like anybody. I'm not going to throw nobody under the bus because I could throw a whole bunch of people under the bus, real talk. That say that they are champions of our people, and they're actually not. But what I want our folks to start paying attention to is this. Hold our people accountable. The people that we hold in such high regard and that we protect, what kind of stories do they tell about us? Hold them accountable. Hold them to a standard. We don't want to hear just simply about the people who sell drugs. I mean, how many more times do we need to hear about how awesome we are at being drug dealers?
Mm-hmm.
How often do we need to hear that story? I mean, really. I mean, really. How often do we need to hear about how good we are at sexing a black woman, impregnating her, and leaving her? How often do we need to hear about that?
Yeah.
How often do we need to hear? Why is it that we're not being told about the brothers who are? Look, I posted about this. There's a post that I put up the other day about a brother who is brushing his daughter's hair. Somebody's shooting it through, they're in a car, they're shooting it through the window. Brother's sitting there putting a little bit of grease in his daughter's hair. He's brushing her hair and dressing it up. Yo, I did that with my daughter. Real talk, if you want to be real about this. When my daughter, when her hair was, I'm talking about snatched, laid, braided, barretted, bowed up, Daddy did that. Daddy did that. Matching the outfit, matching the jeans, shirt, shoes, the whole ball of wax. 9 times out of 10, when you saw my daughter look like that, my wife will snatch it up in a ponytail and say, keep it pushing. Dawn can tell you. That's who my wife is. Dad is different. I'm like, nah, babe. Let me see. What you gonna lay it out? What you want to wear? Okay. Well, we need to get something to match that up. Okay, you like this bow? Okay, all right. Well, we're gonna get this bow right here. Dad is the kind of dude that before school would braid her hair up. If I didn't like the braid, true story, God is my witness. That ain't right. That ain't right. No, we're gonna redo this here. There we go. There we go. There we go. See, y'all already know what it was, because that's a woman move right there. Right? That's a hair move that you gotta get from a woman. I got that specifically from a woman. My daughter to this day, 16 years old. If you talk to my daughter, she will tell you about the phenomenal experience she had of her father taking time to do her hair. Best thing in the world, man. Best thing in the world. So all of this kind of stuff is stuff that, like, we have to be very specific about in terms of us being what we need. Every man is the protector, the provider, but we're also phenomenal nurturers when we allow ourselves to be. Listen to me. There's a reason why, and this is no mark against my wife. This just is what it is. These are not feelings. These are facts. There's a reason why during this time that my wife got sent off to go work and Dad was here to hold down the house. It takes a special kind of calm to impart that kind of calm to a child, to pets, to even navigate a certain way with your spouse who's out of town and doesn't have any control. And how do you now facilitate certain things with your spouse who already feels like they're out of control because they're not here. And Dawn has experienced this because she's designing stuff at our house. So she's seen like the dynamics where I'm like, all right, babe, so what do you want? Like from paint on our house. Paint, literally.
Mm-hmm.
This is how ridiculous it can get. Paint on a house to like design choices around it. And somebody has to remain calm in the chaos.
Speaking of which,
Yes.
my final question.
Yes.
Can you talk about, speaking of homes, can you talk about creating safe spaces
Yeah.
and what that means for ourselves, our loved ones, and also touch upon the LGBTQ community as well,
Yeah.
creating safe
Yeah.
spaces.
Yeah. So watch this. So when I was a kid, I feel like one of my white brothers and sisters who says, "Yeah, I have black friends." Right. So when I was a kid growing up in Brooklyn, and notice I said white brothers and sisters, even our white brothers and sisters who are not acting like our brothers and sisters are still our brothers and sisters. We have family that don't much act like our family,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still our family.
Mm-hmm.
They may not have a certain kind of awareness and consciousness, but they still are our family. Those are our white brothers and sisters. We're praying for them that they gain an awareness and consciousness, but we got to remain smart and not allow ourselves to be put in a space where we are unsafe.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. So I want us to be intentional about making sure that we remember that real talk, when you are a righteous human being, particularly as a righteous man, a godly man, those are still our brothers and sisters, but we got to put them in special categories.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So when we sit there and we talk about creating these safe spaces and LGBTQ plus community, when I was a kid, I grew up, hey, man, hey, say, bro, you mind? I'm doing an interview. That's my 1-year-old Rottweiler, Deuce. So when I was a kid, we had a family that was very close to our family. And I don't know how this happened, but every child that came out of that family was gay. All of the girls were lesbian and all of the boys were gay. I didn't grow up having an opinion like, oh man, look at them. This dude is gay. Oh, look at them, man. They're lesbian. I didn't grow up feeling like that about that community. I never was a brother who, my uncle-in-law, my wife's uncle, is a proud gay black man.
Mm-hmm.
And I will never forget, for his 50th birthday, he was having a birthday party, and I happened to be in his hometown because I was shooting a project. And so I was going to be able to be there for his birthday. My mother-in-law, my bonus mom, as I call her, told my wife she didn't want me to be there. My wife said, why not? She said, well, because it's going to be all gay men there. And my wife said, so? It's like, well, I don't want him to, that's, and she's like, Mom, are you kidding? Dondre is not like that at all. I was the only heterosexual man at that party.
Mm.
Could not have been more comfortable.
Mm.
Why? What you do in your bedroom is your business, just like what I do in my bedroom is my business. I ain't about to sit here and tell you what I do with my wife.
Right.
That's my business. That's my sexuality. What you do in your bedroom, that's your sexuality. That's your business. Now, the business that we can collaborate on is the business of service. How do we as men, not as a gay man, not as a heterosexual man, straight man, as men, how do we collaborate in serving our community? See, we got to get through the shaming of our gay brothers. We got to get over that. And I hate this notion that somehow there's some sort of like dust that a gay man sprinkles around boys that turns them gay. I've seen gay men my entire life. Guess what? Ask my wife how gay I am. Has absolutely nothing to do with that. We got, hey, quiet. We got to start. We got people doing work in the back. Hey, quiet, Dawn. So literally we got to start. We have to take away this stigma that our gay men are less than men,
Right.
because of their sexuality. Hey, cut it out. So literally, we have to start looking at that to create safe spaces for our brothers that actually do serve our communities dynamically in ways. We have to learn how we partner with our brothers because they are still our brothers. Are you crazy? They're some of the most dynamic servants that we have. Now, I get it.
Absolutely.
As a man raising a son who right now seems straight. I get it. Right. I'm not asking anybody to put a sheet over their eyes and to try to act like we're not seeing what we're seeing in today's society, where it feels like so much of our society is being emasculated. And if you show any sign of masculinity, that people are coming for you. Trust me, I get it. Like, as a straight man, it feels like you showing any form of masculinity, people are coming for you. I get it. We got to do something about that too. But we got to start having real dialogue about, hey, I feel like folks are coming at me because I happen to be a straight man and I happen to be a masculine one. But yeah, I want to do something about folks coming for you because you're not a straight man, because you're a gay man and you happen to be maybe effeminate, because nobody should be coming for you about that either. We got to start destigmatizing our folks in these ways, because we cannot move into a space of true partnership without doing it. We got to start doing something about it. We got to do it.
Dondre.
Way past time. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote that chapter about our brothers in the LGBTQ plus community, because I'm over it. And we should be collectively as a people.
Dondre, thank you.
I could do this all night.
Thank you for coming into this safe space with us and ministering to us in the way that you did and the way that you will continue to do. I cannot wait to see you, on your television show. We're going to speak that into existence.
That's going to be
We are going to support that work. We are going to support everything that you write. I want folks to go and buy this book. Buy this book. It needs to be on your radar. And the one that's coming up, go to peoplegetreadybooks.com. You can buy this book today. Go. We are so grateful to have had you right before Father's Day. I will absolutely never forget this experience. We are so grateful for you. And we cannot wait to see you again. Everybody, Kevin, Ty, Dawn, it has been an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me. I love you,
Thank you, my
Dondre.
people. I love you back, my
Yeah,
sister. You know that. My kings. Yo, man, we got to go hard in the paint, man. Because
Yes,
our
sir.
sisters need us. And I don't want to hear one
Absolutely.
more time about us talking about how strong our sisters are. That doesn't need to be said. We got a history of how strong our sisters are. But right now, when we say it, it feels like it means that our sisters are good at hiding their pain.
Mm.
And our sisters need a safe place for them to be able to land. Our sisters need to be able to fall out in our arms, not be judged for it, and feel safe by doing that in the process. We got to go harder because they need us.
Thank you. You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Good night, folks.
Delores, thanks for putting this together. This was great. Dondre, thank you, brother.
My pleasure.
Yeah, this was awesome. We got to do it more. Fly Tire, you
Indeed.
know what we got to do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dondre, what I'm going to make it my business to do, me and my core group of friends, we're all turning 40 this year. And for each of my brother's birthday, I'm going to gift them this book because you're a prophet, you're a preacher, you're the voice of today, and we need that. So thank you.
Bro, let me tell you something. If you and Kevin put together a men's group, I will do a separate session with the brothers because we need it. So y'all put that together and I will do it.
Okay.
You know, the beautiful
right.
thing too that I want to say in closing is that it's wonderful to have a man as a friend and as a brother and know that that is exactly what it is. This is my friend. I can cry around him. He can hold me and console me. And I know that the words that he gives me are words to strengthen me and to hold me up. And that's one thing that I think that women need more of. We need you guys to be our friends.
Amen.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't have one. I don't have one male friend like that. And I want to say, people get ready, that we're not transactional. This is about building relationships and staying in relationships. Dondre, I welcome a friendship. And I feel like we have a friendship already. Indeed. Because you agreed to come here and you didn't have to.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Easy. It's been my pleasure. I love y'all, my family.
Love y'all too. Y'all.
All right. So it's said in here that men and women can be friends. Yes. Let's do it.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
We need y'all.
Man.
Yes, indeed.